Good morning. Myself Sania Grover, working as Associate Professor in the Department of Pharmacology at ISF College of Pharmacy, Moga. Today I am going to deliver a lecture on the cerebrum. So firstly, we must know about the various parts of the brain. So as shown in this flow chart, brain consists of three parts: forebrain, which is also known as prosencephalon. Second part is midbrain, which is also known as mesencephalon, and third part is hindbrain, which is also named as rhombencephalon. So, prosencephalon or forebrain further divided into two parts: telencephalon and the diencephalon. Telencephalon consists of cerebrum, basal ganglia, hippocampus, and amygdala. Diencephalon consists of two parts, that is thalamus and hypothalamus. So hindbrain further consists of pons, cerebellum and medulla oblongata. So this diagram shows various parts of the central nervous system. This part shows the cerebrum, followed by the midbrain, then pons, and then medulla oblongata. And medulla oblongata further extends up to the spinal cord. Posterior to the pons, there is cerebellum. So the today topic of concern is cerebrum. Okay. So cerebrum is the largest part of the brain. That is, it occupies 2/3 of the total brain weight. The weight of our brain is 1.4 kilogram. That means the maximum part, 2/3 part, is occupied by cerebrum itself. Okay. So cerebrum is further divided into two hemispheres, right cerebral hemisphere and the left cerebral hemisphere. These two cerebral hemispheres are divided by a longitudinal fissure. So this particular portion is further divided into the longitudinal fissure, but internally these two hemispheres are connected by the bundle of nerve fibers known as corpus callosum. So this corpus callosum is the bundle of nerve fibers which internally connect these two cerebral hemispheres, right cerebral hemisphere and the left cerebral hemisphere. And you know about the meninges. Meninges are the layers that protect our brain and spinal cord. Meninges consist of pia mater, arachnoid matter and the dura mater. And the infoldings of dura mater that forms the phalanx cerebri. Phalanx cerebri is the inward folding of dura mater, the outermost layer of meninges, which further extends up to the corpus callosum and divide the two cerebral hemispheres. So next, this diagram shows the grey matter and the white matter of cerebrum. This is your right cerebral hemisphere, this is your left cerebral hemisphere. And we all know about these cell bodies and axons of the neuron. So we know the collection or group of cell bodies is known as grey matter, and the collection of axons is white matter. In cerebral hemisphere, the peripheral part is grey matter. That means all the cell bodies lie in the periphery, whereas in the center portion all the axon will lie and it is named as white matter. So in this diagram, this is grey matter and this is white matter. This is the right cerebral hemisphere and this one is the left cerebral hemisphere. And this particular part shows the ventricles of the brain. Okay. So next is gyri and sulci of cerebrum. This diagram shows the gyri and sulci, and I will explain it by using this model. So this is the model of brain, and you can see very ridges or convoluted part, that is known as gyri. This is the cerebrum and these are the ridges which are convoluted and these are known as gyri. And the sulci, the grooves which you can see here, these are the grooves which divide the gyres are known as sulci. So what is the function of gyri and sulci in the cerebrum? So basically the gyri and sulci increases the surface area of the brain. So these are the ridges and these are the furrows or grooves. Grooves are known as sulci and the ridges are known as gyri. So this you can see very well in this diagram. The grooved part is gyri and the ridged part is sulci. So next is the lobes of cerebrum. This diagram shows the various lobes of cerebrum. Cerebrum consists of basically 4 lobes. This one that is marked as red, that is known as frontal lobe. The second one is parietal lobe, which is marked as blue color, and the green color shows the occipital lobe, and this particular purple shade lobe is known as temporal lobe. So there are various sulci which partitions these lobes from each other. This particular sulci which divides the frontal lobe with the parietal lobe, that is known as central sulci. It is also named as fissure of Ronaldo. So second sulci is which partition the parietal lobe from the occipital lobe, and that is named as parieto-occipital sulci. And here there is a sulci which partition the temporal lobe from other lobes, that is the lateral sulci. Now moving towards the functions of various lobes. I can give you the mnemonics for the functions of various lobes. So for the function, to learn the function of frontal lobe, the mnemonic is press. Frontal lobe. Its function is press. To learn this, press. P stands for problem solving. R stands for reasoning. E stands for emotions. S stands for speech. And another S stands for the social behavior. So these are the functions of frontal lobe, that is the problem solving, reasoning, emotions, speech and our social behavior. So next, the functions of parietal lobe. So to learn the functions of parietal lobe, learn the P stands for parietal and P stands for prone. Here P means perception. R stands for recognition. O stands for orientation. And M stands for movements. So you can learn the functions of parietal lobe, that is perception, recognition, orientation and the movements. And next are the functions of temporal lobe. So to learn the function of temporal lobe, you can learn mass. And here M stands for memory. A stands for auditory. S stands for smell. And another S stands for the So what are the functions of temporal lobe? Memory, auditory, smell and speech. And last are the functions of occipital lobe. And you have to learn the functions of occipital lobe. You know, here is frontal lobe, here is parietal and here is occipital lobe, and sides are the temporal. So in front of occipital lobe there are our eyes, and what is the function of our eyes? That is the vision. So the function of occipital lobe is vision. So these are the functions of various lobes of cerebrum. So overall function of cerebrum is problem solving, reasoning, emotions, speech, social behavior, perception, recognition, orientation, movements, memory, auditory, smell, speech and the vision. So that's all about the cerebrum, which is the largest part of our brain. That's all. Thank you so much.